I've always believed that real fear doesn't come from screams or blood. True fear arrives silently. It sits beside you without warning and watches until you finally see it. And by then, it's already too late. What I'm about to tell you isn't a legend or an old local tale. It happened to me, and sometimes I wonder if I ever truly got out of it, because some nights I still feel like I'm there. It was autumn when she arrived. The leaves were falling like ashes onto the cobblestone streets, and the wind had that hollow whistle that sneaks through the cracks in old houses. I worked as a schoolteacher in a small rural town, almost forgotten by time, surrounded by fog and tall trees. That morning, when I opened the classroom door, she was already there, standing in front of the blackboard, perfectly still, a girl no one recognized. She looked around 8 or 9 years old, wearing a worn, oversized gray school uniform. Her straight, black hair fell over her face like a veil. But the most disturbing thing were her eyes, completely black, not dark brown black, like bottomless pits, without any whites. I tried to speak to her. I asked her name. She didn't answer. She just looked at me, as if she already knew something I didn't. A chill ran through me. I figured she must have been from a new family that hadn't registered her at the school yet. It wasn't that uncommon. When the bell rang, the other kids came in and stared at her, confused, but no one said a word. At lunchtime, she sat alone. She didn't eat. She didn't play. She only drew. She loved to draw, but only in black. One of her drawings showed a house, my house, exactly as it was. Every detail. The cracked window in the attic, the broken flower beds. But the sky had no sun. Instead, there was a massive eye crying thick black ink. That night, I barely slept. I kept waking up, feeling like someone was watching me from the corners. But there was nothing there, only shadows. The next day, she came back, silent as ever. That became her routine for a few days, until the strange things began. First, it was the water. The town well started producing a bitter, metallic-tasting liquid. Then the animals. Dogs vanished. Chickens were found dead, eyes wide open, tongues blackened. And then the dream started. People dreamed of her. Everyone described the same thing. The girl standing at the foot of their bed, silent, crying. Black tears fell down her pale cheeks, soaking the sheets and floor. And with every tear, something changed in the house. A clock stopped. A mirror cracked. A door creaked open on its own. I didn't believe in any of it. Not really. Until I had the dream too. In it, I was paralyzed in my bed. Couldn't move. Couldn't scream. And then I saw her, standing there, head bowed, crying. That same thick black liquid streamed down her face. I felt cold. Not surface level cold. Deep, gnawing cold. And then she spoke. Her voice wasn't loud. It wasn't even human. It was soft, hollow, as if it came from behind her eyes. When I cry, something wakes up. I woke up screaming. I thought it was just a nightmare, until I saw the footprints. Small, barefoot prints on my wooden floor, made with something black and sticky. They went from the front door straight to the edge of my bed. After that, she never came back to school. No one saw her again. I asked the children, but they got nervous. One of them looked at me, terrified, and whispered. She doesn't like being talked about. Desperate for answers, I went to the church, the only place that kept historical records. The priest was old and quiet, but he let me search the archives, and I found it. Over 100 years ago, during a solar eclipse, a little girl disappeared in this very town. Her mother, driven mad by grief, turned to something unspeakable. The text called it the one who feeds on sorrow. She begged for her daughter to return, and she did, but she didn't come back alone. Since then, they say, every few decades, a girl appears. A girl with black eyes, who cries black tears. She doesn't speak. She doesn't eat. She just draws. And with every tear, the veil between our world and the other gets thinner. They say that when she sheds the last tear, the thing behind the veil crosses over. And I think I saw it happening. The days went on. The disasters got worse. The fog never lifted. Birds fell from the sky like ash. And just when I was starting to believe it was over, she came back. Not in a dream, not in a drawing. I saw her, in my house, standing in front of the hallway mirror, and she had no reflection. I stepped closer, heart pounding like a drum. She slowly turned her head toward me. Her eyes streamed with black tears again, and then she whispered, "It's awake now." After that, I don't remember much. I woke up the next morning on the floor. The house was silent. On the table was another drawing. The same house. The same eye in the sky. But this time, the eye was wide open, and it was bleeding. Black. Since then, every night, I see her, standing at the foot of my bed, watching me, and crying. Black.